So good day all and welcome to the South African. Alright, welcome to today's video, and finally we are doing our annual spring lawn renovation for warm season lawns. And I don't want to exclude anyone who's got a different lawn type, but this will mainly be aimed at guys who's got KIKUYU, okay, and I suppose also Bermuda, because you can treat them more or less the same. You can actually treat all grass types like this, but grass types like alum and those type of stuff, you maybe don't want to go as aggressive in all these steps that you will see later in this video. So just keep that in mind, that this is for KIKUYU and Bermuda especially, mainly KIKUYU, because this is a KIKUYU lawn. So yes, you can treat your lawn the same way if you've got a different grass type, but all these steps you want to not do it as exaggerated as I will be doing it. So when you top dress, you top dress lighter. When you scalp a little bit lighter. But we'll go through all the steps. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it won't be too boring and long. So I'll just quickly talk about all of the steps that we're going to do in this renovation. I hope you enjoy the video and find it informative. And if you haven't subscribed already, maybe consider doing that. There's tons of things to follow for this channel. Lekker, just almost upon 500 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone. But let's get into today's video. I'm super excited to get this year's growing season kicked off. So before we get started, just a quick lawn update. So as I've said, this is my KIKUYU yard, and the reason why you haven't seen this lawn so much lately is I don't want to say embarrassed, but it isn't looking great because of the damage that my dog is doing there. It is really frustrating me. On a more serious note, I always make jokes, but it's becoming a bit of an issue because I really used to have quite a beautiful lawn here, and the last year the dog has just gone crazy and damaged this lawn terribly. Just look at that. And honestly, the rest of the lawn, I haven't done much this season, is looking fairly nice, but that area is just a disaster. All right, enough complaining from my side. Let's get into today's renovation video. I'm just going to quickly talk about the steps that we're going to do in this renovation. You obviously saw in the previous mini renovation series that I did, it's a different style of renovation. I think however I'm going to top dress outside there. It's just on the other side of this wall, but today we're going to do a little bit more, maybe not everything today, but in this video we're going to do a little bit more intensive renovation on this lawn, a complete spring renovation for KIKUYU and I suppose for Bermuda as well. So the steps in this renovation would be exactly the same like we did outside, like a heavy scalp or removal of dead grass. The second step will be an aeration. The third step will be a top dress, and then we might finish it off with a fertilizer and a lot of water. Whereas on a lighter renovation like we did outside there, where we did only a scalp and a fertilizer, so that's fine. But if you want to go the extra mile and get your lawn really good, I've got a lot of areas to recover, as you've seen from the dog damage. You might want to consider doing all these steps and just putting it in that extra mile and prepare your lawn for the growing season. This is basically the hardest work that you'll do to your lawn for the growing season, and now is the great time to do it for South Africa. We're in spring now, so happy spring everyone, but this is now the time to do your annual lawn renovation. Get your game on. So without wasting any further time, I'm going to jump straight into the first step. The first step, removing the dead grass. And I'm saying dead grass, it's not really a dethatch in most cases. However, in my case it's a big dethatch because my lawn turned a little bit spongy, but in most cases it's dormant grass just sitting there, dead stuff, which you want to remove now to make room for new growth. However, in my case, I didn't get a lot of frost in this area, a lot of buildings and trees protecting this area, and also I drilled a borehole, so my lawn is already greened up completely over the last 4 weeks. It never really turned brown, but the end of last season it was a bit spongy, so I'm going to try and remove quite a lot off. I'm going to cut it down to the bone, and maybe even if we need that electric scarifier or dethatcher later on, we might get that out and remove even further more of the grass. Okay, so what I'm using today is this Scott Bonner of mine, and the only reason why I'm using this machine over my professional is because the blades are blunt as crap, and this practice or exercise could blunt your blades a little bit. Rotary mowers are preferred here because it sucks up all the grass, but I'm gonna give this one a crack. That petrol engine has got a lot of power to pull through. I'm gonna try and bag the clippings and get it going, but I'm going to use that just because the blades are blunt, like I said, and try and get as much off of this lawn. All right, let's do that. All right, so there's the lawnmower already ready for action, and my suggestion is, hey, look at the dog. That's the one through the window there. That's the one who's barking all the time, scratching you. But yeah, okay. So my suggestion is, if you want to take off a lot, try and do it over a couple of passes, maybe even 4, 5, 6 passes. So you don't take off as much in one single pass. It'll just really ease the stress of your lawnmower, and so you don't hurt that. And just use your common sense really when you feel your mower is working too hard, because I've broken a mower once before actually doing this because it was bogging down too much. So just use your common sense so it eases the stress of the mower. Let's get into it. So if you don't believe me, come and show them. I'm not even done with the first pass yet. And I've almost got a full dustbin of of clipping. Okay. Well, I just can't believe it. I'm on my second pass here, and I'm basically almost down to as low as I can go, probably like 6-7 mil on this lawn. As you can see, I'm going in a little bit different direction, and it's still so green. I've never been so sold on what the difference water can make through the winter. I mean, I don't know whether it's that nitrogen that we put down before the winter or the water, but this thing looks like a summer lawn already. We haven't had rain, nothing. I mean, guys, like literally we scalped down to, check there, crazy. I've also ditched the dustbin. I'm now using my work bucky that I used to use to deliver my beds. I'm just going to throw all the grass on there and go to the landfill, to the garden refuge site and dump it there. Way easier. Alrighty, right, so these are the results that I came up with. And as you can see on the left hand side of the screen is a lot less aggressive scalped area, just due to the soil below the grass being a lot firmer and it not being as spongy as that area right there where I've scalped quite aggressive. just purely because I think it needs it more. So I've scalped basically down to the soil level, and I'm not worried at all. I think this will like recover fairly quickly. Just have a look at all these what are these stolons running on top of the soil here. These are just ready to shoot out again. Look at those tiny grasses there. This will recover quickly even if we smother it quite a bit with soil or compost or top dress medium. Okay. Alrighty, right. So step number 2 is aeration. Okay, and what is aeration, or spiking, or hollow tining, or core aerating of your lawn? So the red like framework that's there on the left, I've built myself because we can't seem to find core aerators in South Africa. And the one on the right hand side is a spike roller. Okay, main difference is a core aerator actually relieves compaction. So I've got a very firm part there, but the rest of my lawn is fairly soft, or is actually quite very soft. So I've gone and core aerated that area because it really relieves compaction. So that's the whole purpose, or the difference between a spike roller or spiker, whichever method, with a roller or with a garden fork, and a core aerator. So a core aerator pulls a plug. You've seen it in my previous videos, and that really helps relieving compaction. It decompacts the soil because it actually sucks something out and leaves a cavity there and makes more space below the grass in the soil. So I hope that makes sense. Whereas your spike roller does all the rest that the core aerator does, or the hollow tiner does. The only difference is it doesn't suck something out the ground, so it just makes a hole and allows for water and air and nutrients to flow down. The main reason why I've gone and rented a spike roller is because my lawn isn't really firm, so I can get away with just a spike roll, and it is so much easier when you're doing it like manually with a core aerator compared to, no, it is easier to spike roll than to manually core aerate. That's what I wanted to say. So I'm just doing that. I promise you can probably do this lawn in about 15 minutes, whereas with that core aerator of mine, it'll probably take about 3 or 4 hours, and I'm not even kidding. That's how long it will take. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to spike roll rather than core aerate. Just takes a hell of a lot quicker, and this lawn really doesn't need the decompaction. It's soft enough already. So I'm going to show you how you do it, and this is a good time to take note where your in-ground sprinklers are. Because these tines, or these spike tines, can really mess up an in-ground sprinkler. If you've got above ground, or if you haven't got sprinklers, then don't worry. Or especially if you've got shallow sprinkler pipes, also quite a nightmare. You can puncture like 20, you can make like 20 holes in your sprinkler pipes without even noticing it. So let's crack on. I've got 1 or 2 sprinklers, but this should be an easy job. Come on, no head! Yes, it's quite a hard, tough workout, but I tell you what, in about 5 minutes. I've done almost half the lawn. One thing that you really want to keep in mind is if you're spiking, this thing, even though you fill it up with water, is not that heavy and it's got quite a lot of tine, so you might want to consider flooding your lawn with water to get it as soft as possible so the tines can really penetrate down in. I've seen many of cases where the actual tines just run on top of the soil, and you don't really achieve much. So if you do it, you might as well spend a bit of water, get it to flush down into the soil, flood it, make it soft and ready for you to roll this thing. I've watered now 2 days in a row and it still feels a little bit like it could have done with a little bit more water, if you get what I'm saying. We are losing daylight here, and I must say she's making it look quite a lot harder than it really is. Okay, try pushing it. Now that's the real test. I found that when you push it, it really pushes up because you're adding some weight down to it, and so it pushes into the soil. But check, it is quite a lot harder. I'm pretty sure it's because she's got blockies on. I think the Felis does the trick here. Come. It just makes me so happy to see other people also suffer when doing some yard work. Okay dokes, so on to the final step of this renovation, and that is obviously top dressing. Top dressing is one of the favorite things that I like to do with the lawn. One of the things that improves it the most, where you really see results, and I think it's an essential if you want to improve your lawn. So the last step is top dressing, and a lot of questions asked about it, so let's quickly talk about a couple of things in the top dress debate. Okay, so one of the biggest debates is always which medium to top dress with, because some guys say no, you can't top dress with sand, it's going to turn your soil into concrete. You can't top dress with sea sand, you can't top dress with gravel, you can't top dress with compost, you can't top so yeah, a lot of debates regarding the medium that you can use with whichever you want to top dress with. Okay, so in my opinion, fairly simple. If you want a level, you want to use something that doesn't break down, preferably something that is similar to what's below your soil. So I've got this red soil stuff that most of us have here in Johannesburg and Pretoria area. So I like to use something that's similar to that when I really want to level. It doesn't break down really. However, in my instance right now, I'm going to top dress with that compost right there, and the reason for that is purely because I've got bare areas. I hope you can see that. I can't even see that. I've got bare areas right here because that dog is scratching all this grass away, and also I've got a lot of compost, so I'm going to try and get rid of some of that. There's probably about 2 cubic meters of that, so it's too much. I'm really going to use some of that compost right now. And also I've had such great success with compost in the past. It really just enlivens the lawn, if that's even a word. So I'm going to use that today, not really for leveling. I'm going to try and do 2 or 3 top dressings through this season to try and get this lawn level and growing nicely. And top dress is really one of the things that you've got to do with your lawn. I really don't want to talk too much, but it is an essential with your renovation and throughout the season. Top dressing is a flippin' must. I love it. Okay, so another FAQ, frequently asked question, shouldn't have probably said that, anyways, is how much top dressing do I need? So I work on a good rule of thumb of 5 to 10 mils of top dress medium, spread as evenly as possible, which equates to a half a cubic meter to a cubic meter of top dress medium per 100 square meters. So if you've got 500 square meters, you need about 2.5 cubes to 5 cubic meters of top dress medium. which is quite a lot, I know. And with that being said, you can forget all of that math if you've got Kikuyu, because Kikuyu is forgiving. You can put down as much as you want. You can smother it. You don't even have to see your lawn. You don't go meter deep. I don't want to be responsible for dead grass. But yeah, you can really, if you've got Kikuyu, you can gooi it, puppy. You can gooi it. It'll come through. I tell you what, it is really quick to do this. I've been busy about a minute, and I've done that area really only a minute. So the biggest work with top dressing is to actually get the medium to your house. So you'll need a bakkie, or you'll need them to deliver, or you'll need to drive to Builders Warehouse and buy those bags. About 400 trips if you've got a small car. So yeah, but that's lekker. So when you start top dressing, maybe start off with a light layer, because your pile disappears quite a bit quicker than you would anticipate. You would think, man, I've got a lot of top dressing soil, yeah, and then halfway through your lawn it'll be empty. So start off with a light layer, and rather go 2 layers, because as I say, it doesn't take too long. So to distribute it evenly, you might want to consider making small heaps all over the lawn, all over your intended area of top dressing, and then distribute from there to make sure that you've got enough and that the medium gets distributed evenly. And then if by accident you end up with about a 5 or 6 centimeter layer on top of your Kikuyu, so you don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. They say you don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing, she's gonna be alright. 'Cause it's Kikuyu, and everything will be alright. Right, so that basically wraps up the top dress, and that basically wraps up this renovation. So I hope you found these steps interesting. As an additional step, I'm just gonna focus on this bare areas for now, by taking those scalped clippings and mixing them with some compost and just adding it over there to try and see if I can get some of those scalped stalks and whatever to sprout and to grow in a little bit quicker there. There is quite a lot of like stolons and whatnot above the ground there that the dog has unfortunately damaged. So there's not a lot of leaf blade, but still some stolons left. So I'm pretty sure it will start to grow and fill in. But as an addition, I'm just going to add some clippings and compost over those areas. So yeah, another thing that you just want to keep in mind is if you are not willing to spend a lot of water, and now especially with the Valdam levels not being great, you might have some restrictions in the near future. So if you're not willing to spend a lot of water, then you might want to wait with your renovation when the rain starts. That'll make the spiking or the aerating process a lot more seamless or easier, and you'll just have a lot quicker results and better results when doing it after the rain started, and then you can expect rain and your lawn to recover quickly. There's no real point for me personally to scalp your lawn down when it's brown, adding top dressing, compost, whatever, and then your lawn just sits like that for, could be another month, it could be 2 months, without any water, and then you're not going to have real results. So that's basically what I'm going to do now, is just add some clippings and compost, and then we are done. Yeah, okay, so that is what that looks like. As you can see, I've mixed in the clippings. I would have liked to do this the day after I took the clippings or got the clippings from the lawn, a little bit fresher, better chance, but I want to have everything in life, I suppose. Alright, so that's going to wrap up my renovation video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. So remember, I hope you found this content interesting. So remember, there's 3 steps or 3 big steps to renovating your warm season or Kikuyu lawn in particular. That'll be a scalp or dethatch, removing all the dead stuff and the spongy stuff, and then aeration, and then top dressing. So if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel by somehow, please do that as well. Subscribe to the channel, and I suppose I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now. Bye bye. Kan jy daar gaan sien?